Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about the Scream 5 4K Blu-ray. So, let's talk. So, Scream 5 was originally released on January 14th, 2022. It was directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. It was written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, and it was based on characters by Kevin Williamson, who also was the executive producer. And if you're not familiar with the Scream franchise, this is the fifth one, and the original Scream was written and directed by Wes Craven, and Kevin Williamson wrote the movie, but Wes directed. So this movie was dedicated to Wes after he tragically passed away. Let's get to the movie review. You guys can look back on the channel. We did a review on this when we saw it in theaters, so I just want to touch on a few things. I still liked it. This is my second time watching it. I enjoyed it. It was still a good movie. I think I liked it more the first time I watched it in theaters. I wasn't as hot on it today when I just finished watching it, but I still enjoyed it. Maybe just because I already knew what was happening and I knew who the killers were. I'm not going to talk spoilers because some people might have missed it in theaters and you're picking it up on Blu-ray or renting it or whatever, and you haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to ruin it for you. There's a couple returning legacy characters such as Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox came to reprise their roles as Sidney Prescott and Gale Weathers. You had Dewey Arquette. You had David Arquette, who plays Dewey, which was the sheriff of Woodsboro. That's basically it for the legacy characters. They did a quick little, I wouldn't say a shout out, but they talked about Randy Meeks, who was the film guy in the original. He was big into the movies and he was a big movie buff, and he died in, actually no, he died in the second one, I'm sorry. Billy Loomis was like in it, but he's not. He was just like a ghost. Like that's a mild spoiler. He was in the character's head. We'll leave it at that. So I mean, I wouldn't really consider that a returning. I guess, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Billy Loomis was in the movie, so it was a good movie. It's not as strong as the original. None of them are. I think they all kind of from the original, but they're all great movies. They're all fun to watch. I enjoy watching them all. I watch them every year. Big fan of the Scream franchise. As we stated in our original review, they touch with a lot of meta stuff in this movie, and metaverse and requels and sequels and all this stuff the kids are calling it these days. But Scream has always been a very self-aware movie, and that's one of the cool things about it. But they, like, the movie inside, like Stab, the movie inside the movie, and there's if you notice when they're in the Randy Meeks Memorial Home Theater, there's a physical box set of Stab, and I want that so bad. That's so cool. But anyway, I don't think those are full-length movies. I think they just made a couple clips for the Scream movies. But that would be pretty cool to have one day, is the Stab box set. Maybe one day we'll get it, but I doubt it. That'd be a cool way to continue the franchise without continuing the franchise. Just Stab. I'd like that. That'd be really cool. If you're watching Paramount, look into that. That's a good idea. So this movie was kind of a passing of the torch, if you will. I think this is probably going to be the end of the legacy characters. I don't think they'll be coming back if there is another movie. Maybe we'll get a little glimpse of Sidney, but I don't think there's really going to be too much with them. I think there was a passing of the torch, and I mean, they literally said it in the movie. That's how meta it is. Like I stated earlier, they really dedicated this movie to Wes. So one of the characters' names was Wes, and then they had that character. I'm gonna spoil this because I want to talk this point. The character Wes ends up getting killed in the movie, and they have a party for Wes, and everyone's partying and saluting for Wes. And it was just a real cool thing to do, because this is the first movie that's been released since Wes has passed away. So it's pretty cool that they acknowledged him and they put him in the end credits and stuff like that. So it was really cool. So let's talk home release, 4K Blu-ray. Just came out today, April 5th. I just got this in the mail earlier today. I watched it after dinner, and lucky me, I got my slipcover. I screwed up. I thought I ordered the steelbook, but I got the regular. That's fine. I think this one actually has. I like the art on this better than the steelbook. Just the plain old ghost, with just the ghost face was on the steelbook, and I don't really need the Blu-ray anyway. I'm cool with the 4K. So now I got my slipcover because I'm a sucker for slipcovers, and there's only one disc. It's only just the 4K in here, so keep that in mind if you're a person who likes to have both. This does not include the Blu-ray. This has just the 4K, and there is bonus content on the 4K disc. And there's deleted scenes, there's behind the scenes with the cast, and there's a little legacy of Wes Craven. It's like a little mini documentary. They're just kind of honoring him, and then a filmmaker commentary. So there's some cool stuff on there. Nothing crazy, but not bad. Cool to have. And then the feature itself. Visually, the 4K, I mean, we're at the age in time where any 4K disc is most likely going to look great. You know, it's filmed on modern cameras and stuff like that, and it's a good looking 4K. You know, I had no complaints. I didn't think anything looked washed out or any of that. I watched it on my OLED. It looked fantastic, so no complaints in the visual department. However, the sound was fine. It has a DTS HD 7.1. Now, there's no Atmos on this. I don't know why, but is it a deal breaker? No, not really. It still sounded fine. You know, I mean, I don't know how many people out there have a true Atmos setup where you're fully taking advantage of it. So there's no Atmos. There's a DTS HD 7.1, and it still sounded great. I had no complaints. So, I mean, are we missing the Atmos? Yes, but do we really need it here? I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point. The 7.1 sounded perfectly fine, but that's about that. So visually, I would give it a 5 out of 5. It looked great. There was nothing wrong with it, and it sounded fine, you know. But I guess a 4 out of 5 I'll give it on sound, just because it's not quite Atmos, and we want top of the line stuff here. So it's kind of interesting that they didn't give us the Atmos, but whatever. That's about it. So we got a cool slipcover, some bonus features, no Blu-ray. There is a digital code inside there. We will be giving that away eventually. I think we're giving away, our next giveaway is going to be Sonic, for the new Sonic movie coming out. So maybe the following week we'll do Scream 5. Let's talk Scream in the comment. What's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite Scream movie? Have you ever seen Scream? Let's talk down in the comments. And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And take care.